Welcome back to Moby's Kitchen, and I'm really excited about this recipe. This is one of our family favorites, and I'm surprised it's taken us this long to put this one on the channel. But this is a stuffed pesto chicken that's just out of this world, and it's pretty simple to make. There's just a few little steps that you might not be used to doing, but once we show you how to do it, I think you'll be really confident in bringing this to your family as well. So let's get it right into it and talk about the ingredients here. Of course, you need some chicken breast. Actually, I'm gonna be cooking even more because this is so good left over. You can even put it in sandwiches. We're gonna need some shallots. Now, if you can find one large shallot, that works, but these are kind of smaller, so I'm gonna use 2 of them. A little bit of Dijon mustard. You can use chicken stock, chicken broth, whatever you prefer. If you make your own too, even better. We've got some homemade pesto here, and if you've never made pesto, I've got a recipe down below to show you how to do that as well. Just click that link. We have a lemon. We've got some butter. We've got Pecorino Romano from Italy. Remember to buy the good stuff from Italy. We've got some provolone cheese there, and then some baby spinach, some salt and pepper. We have the Kinder salt, pepper, garlic mix, and I add some paprika to this. This is what I use on my chicken. And then we've got olive oil here. We have sun-dried tomatoes, and that's it. And I'm gonna show you how to do that on the next step and get everything going. Okay, we're gonna start by dicing up our shallot. We've got it halved and peeled. You cut it just like you do an onion. You just don't cut all the way through to that root. See how that root kind of holds it together there? And you just cut little slices in your shallot here. Just go slow and be careful. And then you've got these lines, and you come back through, and however thick you want them. We're doing like a pretty fine dice here. And when it wants to come over like that, you can just cut the excess off of the edge there. Then you have a lot less waste. There you go. Get rid of the root, and you're all good. And you just repeat that process for all of your shallots. Okay, first step here, get your oven going on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, get that preheated so that's ready to go when you need it, because we are gonna need that a little bit later. So that's a little tip to get that going now so you don't have to delay when you do need it. We're gonna butterfly open this chicken here. So here's what I like to do. I like to kind of flip it over so I can see the uneven side a little bit easier. I don't want it to like come completely apart. So you just kind of put your hand on the top, run your blade in, kind of turn your blade inside there, but leave it connected. And then you're gonna wanna cut it almost to the edge just so it has kind of a hinge action going here. As you can see, you can open it up then. And this is the time we're gonna put a little bit of the seasoning on the inside. This is just the salt, pepper, garlic with some paprika added for some nice color. And then we're gonna add a little bit outside too. All right, get a nice coat, kind of tap it in there. Flip it back over to the inside showing. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, so our first step here, we're gonna take some of our homemade pesto. We're gonna spoon that on there, kind of spread it in there on both sides. That's about all you need to. This stuff has some really strong flavor, so you don't need to go too wild with it. I love pesto. It's so good. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is take some of these sun-dried tomatoes with the oil. These are packed in the olive oil, so don't be shy. Getting some of that oil in there is not gonna hurt anything. All right, so we're just gonna spread these out a little bit. You can put as much or as little of the sun-dried tomatoes as you like. You can switch up the ingredients, whatever you're feeling. So we only put this on 1/2 because we're gonna fold that other half over. Then we're gonna take some of this provolone cheese, lay that in there. You could use mozzarella here too. We've used mozzarella, it's really good. Actually, sometimes mozzarella can be a little better for this recipe. Then we're gonna take a little handful of the spinach, put that in there. And then we're gonna grate some fresh Pecorino Romano on here, just a little bit. Okay, then you're gonna take your lid here, And you're carefully gonna have to kind of hold this in place. So just kind of finagle this over there, kind of keeping everything pushed in. If you lose some of the stuff, it's totally fine. Just kind of tuck it all in there. Now you can use some toothpicks or something to hold this closed, but I've found that once you start cooking it, that cheese melts and it kind of seals everything. So I usually am just delicate with it at the beginning, and then we go from there. And then you just repeat that with however many breasts that you want to make. So we'll be back with you once I get all the breasts stuffed and ready to go. Okay, we're over here at the stove. We've got all of our chicken breasts ready to go. It's been a long day. We're gonna take a little sip of wine here, take a little break after putting all those chicken breasts together. Cheers out there. Always have a glass of red wine while you cook it. It makes the process so much better. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I love using a roasting pan, and you get this preheated on your stove here on medium heat. This has been preheating for about 3 minutes. But I like this because we're gonna end up putting these in the oven. Everything's gonna cook in here. We can saute them off. So get one of these roasting pans. They're not too crazy expensive. You can get the really fancy all-clad stuff, which I have too. I'm just using a basic roasting pan. It's a non-stick. We're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in here. Maybe about 3 tablespoons, since it's a pretty good size. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our chicken and carefully position it in here. You can use your hands too. Make sure, I wash my hands probably, how many times, Bobby? Like 15 times during this one? Because you do touch a lot of raw chicken in this recipe. So in between takes, we're washing our hands. And that's the sound you want to hear, that nice sizzle sound. It already smells amazing. I'm telling you. Let's room for our last 2 there. Tuck that cheese in. It's gonna get nice and melty. All right, then we're gonna go here on medium heat, probably for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll flip it and we'll get that into the oven. Okay, so we've been going here for about 4 minutes on medium heat. It's time to flip these chicken breasts over. This is, I kind of use a spatula sometimes to kind of help stabilize. Hold it carefully and flip it. There you go, we got a little bit of browning going on. Some of them will be more than others because we're using a very large pan here. And then we're gonna finish in the oven too, so the roasting process will help with the browning as well. See, those middle pieces always kind of cook better because they're obviously closer to the burner. How's it smelling here, Bobby?
Delicious.
There we go. So we're gonna let this go for about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. We'll be right back with you. Okay, it's been a couple more minutes since we flipped our chicken breast. We're gonna turn off our heat, and it's time to get this in the oven. Our oven's been preheating here for a while on 350. All right. And we're gonna give that probably about 10 minutes and then check the internal temperature. We wanna cook our chicken breast. We want it to end at 165. So that means we wanna take it out between 155 and 160 because as it rests, it will continue to cook and we don't want it to dry out. So we're gonna check it in 10 minutes and see what the temperature is. I'm guessing it's gonna probably take a full 20 minutes to get to where we need it to go. Okay, let's check our temperature. It's been about 10 minutes in the oven here. We're gonna use one of these little Thermapen thermometers here. That one's reading in the middle at about 140, 155. You gotta be real careful. You gotta check the part where the chicken is. So see, the ones in the back are reading a little higher. That one's 136. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn that whole roasting pan around. Put back in there, probably another 10 minutes here. All right, we'll be right back with you. Okay, it's time to take out our chicken and check it. We should be good. It's been in there for a good 20 to 22 minutes here. Let's take it out. Keep the oven on for a minute, just to check the temps. You want to check kind of sometimes this back piece here. We're at 164, 165. We're good. We're good. We're gonna let these rest, and that means our chicken's fully cooked. So we're gonna make a pan sauce. So the next step, we're gonna want to take these chicken breasts out and put them on a platter and set them aside because we're gonna need this pan. Well, looks like Kimber is hungry, ready to go here. She loves this part. So we're gonna make some pan sauce here. We've got all these cooking juices and all that stuff from the chicken with flavor in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce some of this down. See, a lot of this is just water and it's gonna evaporate. So we put it back on about a medium-high heat here. Try to reduce this down, but you can see there's a lot of oil in there too from the olive oil. So we're gonna reduce this down for a minute, and then we're gonna add our shallots in there. All right, we're gonna get our diced shallots in the mix here. We've reduced down here for about 4 minutes on medium-high heat. Gonna get these shallots cooked up. They're gonna add a little body to this. And we'll be right back with you. We're gonna saute these up probably for about 5 minutes. Okay, so we've been going here for about 4 minutes. Add a little bit of pepper. I got this new handy dandy pepper grinder thing. We're gonna try it out. I've seen them online and figured I'd give it a shot. Maybe about a couple teaspoons of pepper. We're gonna add in maybe about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Of course, we're at the end of the Dijon mustard, right? We're gonna squeeze the juice of about half a lemon. Ooh, that came up on me there, didn't it? I've never had that happen. Let's get this all incorporated. Crazy cooking in such a big vessel here. You know, usually you have it all contained in a pan, but this is where all the flavor is, so you want to use it. All right, we're gonna take just a little bit of chicken broth here, or chicken stock, whatever you want to use. Maybe about half a cup. And we're gonna let that kind of reduce down. Scrape all this good stuff off the edges. Bobby, what I'm gonna do, hold it on there. Carefully add some of our resting juices from the chicken. I don't wanna waste that goodness. All right. All right, then continue kind of reducing down here for another, I don't know, 2 minutes or so, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, we're just at the last part of this pan sauce. We're gonna add in our 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. Now this is gonna give it just some nice richness to finish it off. And remember, we got 6 huge chicken breasts in there, so 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter for 6 chicken breasts. I don't think that's unreasonable to ask for, but if you absolutely can't do it on your diet, then skip this part. But I think, as you can see, it adds a nice thickening, a natural sort of thickening vibe to it without adding flour and all that fun stuff. So we're gonna let this melt down here, which pretty much is already there, and then we're gonna cut our heat. We've got so much residual heat in the pan, we can probably do it right now. No more heat, and just let the butter naturally melt into the sauce, and we're ready to get this thing served up. All right, so we've got our pan sauce here. We're gonna spoon this over. Look how beautiful this looks on the platter. I mean, who's not gonna love this if you make it? And then what we'll do is we'll save a little bit of pan sauce for when we individually plate it, and we'll be right back with you. All right, it's my favorite part of the video, as you all know, and it's taste test time. I'm gonna cut into this. Let's go to like let's cut it right down the middle. Let's see what it looks like in the middle here. You can see all the stuffing there. It's gonna give it some nice flavor. All these flavors are gonna add like a nice profile. We put some of that pan sauce right on top. That is unbelievable. Bobby, you have to come around and try this one on camera. This is so good.
Okay.
Pause it for a minute. Come around and try this.
Hey guys, it's my turn to try it. So here we go. It's gonna be good. I can tell. Oh God. It's so good. Really good. You taste like the sun-dried tomatoes and the garlic and the shallots and the provolone. Like everything together just is really nice. Like it's so good. Oh my God. I just want to keep eating it.
Keep eating it, Bobby. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by Moby's Kitchen once again. Please like and subscribe and keep watching our videos. Tell everybody you know about them and make this recipe. I'm telling you, there's a little bit of elbow grease involved. It's got a lot of steps and whatnot, but it is so worth it in the end. I mean, when you can see a face like that while they eat, it's priceless. Make it for your family. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great night. Have a great day whenever you're watching this.